It has been so long since I vlogged last. I honestly cannot even remember what I last filmed. I think what I last filmed, but it hasn't even gone up yet, but I'll include it in this video, is we ended up putting up the vertical boards on the lower half of the kitchen. So we finally got that finished. I have also been working on resealing the brick again because it just wasn't repelling water like I wanted it to. So over the last several days, I've been working on putting more coats of the sealer on the brick because I just don't want it to get stained and ruined by the food whenever I'm cooking right in front of the brick. So what I'm going to work on today is actually cleaning up this kitchen, and then we need to start working on the walls. When we were at the hardware store, they didn't have the tongue and groove boards that we needed that are previously already up on the wall to the right there. So we ended up having to put tar paper, and this was recommended to us by one of the contractors at the store. He said that he uses this to give it the look of tongue and groove because the boards, they will shrink and expand. So whenever they do that, it'll give the look of tongue and groove in between the cracks. So the kitchen is a disaster, and half of this stuff does not even need to be in here. But we did finally finish out the walls, as you can see. This will eventually all be trimmed out, so it's not going to look like that. And it'll be trimmed out on the bottom also. But we had to leave enough room for the new floor to be laid, if that makes sense. Because we're laying right over top of these floors. But the very next thing that we have to do in here is just clean everything out, and everything has to come off the walls because where this is reclaimed beadboard, we use this same stuff in the laundry room. If you've been here for a while, then you know. And we had problems with the tannins still bleeding through, even though we did the Zinzerbin oil and shellac base primer. So we're going to try and avoid that in here in the kitchen. So I've been testing out several different things, and what we're going to do is first we're going to clean everything really good. So like this has been out in the barn forever, and what that is on the blue paint is just mud. It just needs to be wiped off and scrubbed really good. So we're going to clean the blue boards, but we are not going to sand them just because the blue paint is not chipped right now and it's not cracked or anything. So I was reading and it said that it's best to just leave it alone and paint over top of it. So that's what we're gonna do. That right there is wallpaper. This is wallpaper. We have to get the wallpaper off, and we're going to lightly sand all of the wood boards. So like this whole wall is gonna be sanded. And what we're gonna do is lightly sand it. I found foam sanding pads on Amazon, and as long as you do not put very much pressure and you have to keep the sander completely flat, then it still leaves the bead. And then I'm going to use the Savogran, I think that's how you say it, wood bleach, and it's oxyacrylic. So what it's going to do is actually pull out the tannins, shellac, and oil-based primer just to prevent anything further. And then we're going to paint. So it's going to take us a while to do all the sanding and scrubbing of these. I did forget to show you guys that I finally got my flue cover back. I sent it off to get it painted, and I got a painting of the house on it as if it was already finished. So I'll insert a picture so you can see it up close. So I just finished cleaning the kitchen and it looks so much better, but I'm not going to clean the floors and everything yet just because there's going to be so much dust whenever we sand these walls, so there's really no purpose yet. And then this stuff right here, I don't know where to put it because it's the material to rebuild the pantry and then the trim for the door and window. So we have to keep it, but I don't know where to put it. This was the day after, and I was trying to sand the walls down, but my arms were just way too sore, so Ben ended up having to come in and finish sanding for me. I do just want to clarify that this is not standard household bleach. This is the Savogran oxalic acid bleach, and it comes in a powder, and you mix it with water and then apply it, and it is used to remove natural stains in wood and tannins. I just now finished putting the bleach on, and I'm going to try and spin you guys around without making you dizzy, but it looks so much better. I'm having to use that light. It's so dark and gloomy today. It's just raining all day long, but it's still wet. You can tell that it's still wet, and I cleaned the blue beadboard just with water. Just now got the floor cleaned up, and a lot of people wonder why we're not saving these floors and refinishing them, and there's actually quite a few reasons. One, because there is like so many nail holes. Like, I don't know if you can tell, but it goes like all the way down. So that's one of the reasons, is all of the nail holes. But then also, like, there's tons of actual holes and water damage. So this is really dark, but like there's holes, and below this is the cellar. Like, honestly, like rotted out. Like, we'll probably have to cut it out and replace it. And some of this is from like whenever we lived here, like where it's like darker right now. But also, if you remember back from like the original like house tour I did before we ever cleaned it up, the ceiling was missing up here. Like, it had the drop down ceiling, and then it had plaster like 2 foot above that. And the drop ceiling was gone, and so was the plaster. And we found that they had had leaks because the top of the cabinets were ruined and everything like that. And that's why we ended up not keeping the cabinets. So what we think has happened, we don't know for sure. Like, this is all just like speculation because we have no way to know for sure. But we believe that they had a leak here for quite a while and just never fixed it. And then over here, there's like more holes. There's one right there and one right there. And right here is the absolute worst. This is not wet right now. I don't know why it looks wet, but it's not. It's not even wet in the slightest. But all of this is water damage, and it's really bad. Like, I don't even want to step on it because it's about to fall through. We have to cut all of this out and replace it. And what this is, it's not from the window. It looks like it's from the window, but this is where the sink used to sit. I don't even know if I showed it on my Instagram or YouTube. I did not document anything very good back when we first started because I wasn't even sure if I wanted to share our journey or anything yet. So I didn't really document much whenever we first were cleaning out the kitchen and doing the kitchen process. The cabinets, that's another reason we did not keep the cabinets. We wanted to, but after we got to looking at them, they were completely ruined. And the cabinet bottom was completely rotted out. And all of this right here is where the sink had leaked over the years. And I guess like nobody fixed it. I don't know. Because there was so many layers of laminate flooring over top of the wood flooring in here, and we tore it all out. And whenever we tore it out, we saw that all this water damage was here. And then over here, it's a bit of a gom. Like, let me move this thing. But this right here, if you remember, I cannot remember if I talked about this or not. So maybe I did, maybe I didn't. I could be lying. But right here, this wall sticks out just a little bit, but we don't really care because the pantry is going to fall like right on this. So we'll be able to like cap it in, if that makes sense. So the pantry wall will come like right here, and we'll just build it out. So the pantry is going to cover that imperfection. But it's like that because right here used to not be a wall. It used to be a door, and this was a set of stairs down to the cellar that is below the kitchen, and then the bathroom's on the other side of this wall. So you can tell that this is like the porch flooring. Like, this floor doesn't match, and it actually drops down a little bit, so we'll have to fix that. And then that right there is the electrical to the dryer, I believe. And back here is the dryer vent hole, and we'll have to cap that and everything. We just have those boards there for now. And then that is where the washer drains and everything. So there's just a lot of like patchwork and holes, and honestly, it just would not be worth our time to try and fix this and cut it out and find replacement boards. Just because our house is old, think that our floors are the heart pine. Ours are not. Ours are actually poplar. So that's what we're going to go back with because it's already in the rest of the house. But the flooring that we have is a little bit different. Like, one is yellow poplar and one is tulip poplar. I cannot remember which is which, but I know that the one that we're putting back does not match 100%, but it matches as in it's poplar. And it does tie in with the beams, so we don't really have that big of an issue with it. But we can't we can't cut this out and lay a replacement board with the ones that we have. It would just not match at all. So what we're going to do is cut out all the rotted spots and anywhere else that needs to be patched. And then we're going to be laying the reclaimed wood floors that we got out of that old house that we got the beadboard from. Right here, I'm using a mixture of 50-50 water and vinegar, and it's used to help neutralize the bleach that I just applied to the wall. You have to neutralize it before you can paint or prime so that it doesn't have any kind of reactions with the paint and primer. But this is not safe to use with standard household bleach, but it is one of the recommended ways with wood bleach. Just finished wiping down the walls and neutralizing them with vinegar and water, so I am finally done in here. Like, I I think I've done everything to prep and get ready for paint, except we forgot to finish out this side right here. There's like 1 or 2 boards missing, and then this section right here. So on Ben's way home, he's gonna stop at Lowe's and pick that stuff up, and we're gonna get that put up. It literally will take like 20 minutes to put that stuff up, and then we should be ready for paint. Like, I think that's it. Oh, and we have to finish this board up here. Like, we still haven't put that up. There's one last one that we have to put up right there, and then I think we are completely done. But it feels so weird to have the kitchen like clean. Like, I texted Ben and I was like, I'm just sitting in the kitchen enjoying it, because this is the cleanest the kitchen has been since we bought the house. Like, it's like I can finally see the kitchen for what it is. Like, I love it. Like, slowly it is starting to come together, and like my vision, I can start to see it come to like fruition. Like, it's finally coming. And like, up until this point, it hasn't felt like it was gonna happen. Like, it was just dragging on, but finally it feels like slowly we are getting there. But that's gonna be it for today's video. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you guys will like and subscribe.